Good morning, everybody. It's Lowrider RN, and this is Post Shift Huddle. I just come off my long gaming stream, and here I am for you guys. It's been a minute, feels like, considering that I kind of bailed on you guys last week, but here we are. It's Post Shift Huddle. This show is dedicated to healthcare workers, first responders. This show is focused on mental health awareness and suicide prevention. Healthcare workers are 32% more likely to commit suicide than that of a normal person, and healthcare support staff are 81% more likely to commit suicide. Having said that, I started this show so that we could focus on talking about those situations and prevent suicide and mental anguish in those professions. I have been in healthcare for 10 years. 8 of those 10 years I've been a registered nurse, worked in a critical care setting. I feel that the mental health side of healthcare is overlooked a lot in the healthcare side because of several different things, but mostly because of the nature of the beast. It falls through the cracks. It is not, it's focused upon, but it's really not per se hammered in like it should be. Hey, Braxton Lynch, thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. It's hard to describe unless you're in the business, but if you were to take healthcare workers and ask them how their day went during work, you'd get a totally different answer away from work. All because of how it's instilled in us. We're there to make people feel better. We're supposed to be a healing people, so we do not tend to let people know that we are not feeling well, or we're down, we're having issues or stuff like that, because we don't want to put our burdens upon them. Therefore, say we have a bad case or we lose a patient and we also have another patient, so we have to go from being upset in one room to being a different person in another room, which it's such a mental strain to do that. People don't understand. It's like you're living 3 lives sometimes. You have your home life where you have to be who you are. Then you try to come to work and be the same person but you can't be, because patient A may require you to be one person, patient B may require you to be another person. And if you have more than two patients, they all maybe require this different person out of you. So it's a emotional roller coaster. Therefore, it can be just a mental game. And that's just the patient side of it. Then you have the organization side of it that puts another stress on you as well. And that's a whole nother subject, to be honest, because of the just because of the stuff you have to go through. Therefore, that's why I say that mental health issues in healthcare are different variety, because, and I think that's why the suicide rate's so high, is because of in healthcare setting, is because of the emotional roller coaster you're always on. Is in full swing, and you can't uh, um, explain it to people the way that it needs to be explained, because of the way it is. It's kind of funny that you work in healthcare, which has a mental health aspect of it, but yet we forget that our healthcare workers need to be focused upon themselves. And they do have, most organizations do have employee crisis counseling, or counseling for employees. But let's face it, as good as they are at their job, healthcare workers want to talk to other healthcare workers that go through the same thing as they do. They don't want to talk to somebody that doesn't go through the same thing as they do. Per se. They want to talk to somebody that's actually understands it. And the sad side of that is sometimes even healthcare workers will be like hardened to their own, because be like, dude, I'm going through the same thing. Well, I don't know why you're coming to me about this. Well, that's the point. You need to understand that other people feel the same way and are going through the same thing, and you got to work through it to help each other get through this stuff. It's crazy to think that we can't help each other out. It's got to be everybody against everybody. Need to come together and organize without having to worry about retaliation. And I want you to understand that there's a place that you can come and discuss work in the healthcare setting with, in a place that understands. doesn't have to be, you can be anonymous. You know, TikTok lets you create 5 accounts. I mean, make one of those anonymous. Come in and talk. Just nobody's going to know who you are. I mean, make up an email, make up a name, come in here and just talk. I don't know if you've seen some of my videos. I don't want this to be about me. I forgot to change my thing. I know this is under gaming, but I'm not gaming, I'm chatting. And I just can't do anything about it for right now. But yeah, it just needs to be looked at in a different light, so that we can help each other get through it. What just happened? But yeah, if we can come to terms with we all need help, then it will we're all better off knowing that we as healthcare workers have a place where we can go and just vent and talk about work without being judged. Because as healthcare workers, some people don't understand that you may not be lost my train of thought. But if I've been up for so long, but healthcare workers need a place that they feel safe, that they can talk without retaliation. This isn't a place designed to tear down healthcare organizations. It's meant to give a place to talk, to vent, so that they don't take home their mental anguish to their families, so they have mental clarity when they go back to work. It's so that they have the situation of knowing that they do matter, that they are important. Their job is recognized, that they're not alone in how they feel day in, day out. I mean, anxiety runs high all the time. I would say that my anxiety is peaked 90% of the time when I'm at work, especially anymore. It's such a stress to go to work, get a report on patients that you may have never met, know, and have to take care of them. You know, you just gotta get a 5 to 10 minute report on them, and then you're supposed to just pick up where the previous nurse left off, which is fine because you got to do the same thing for the next nurse. And all you really want to do is you're just glad you got through your shift and you're wanting to leave because there's a good chance that you'll be back the next day. So you come back and then you are back at it again. And it's the anxiety's there. It's there the whole shift because you're trying to think. And depending on which department you work in, you know, if you work med surge, you may have 5 to 7 patients to take care of. You know, then you go down to step down, 3 to 4. Then you go to critical care, you may have 2. And that's sometimes those 2 can be a load, a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. But you have to take into consideration that there's people that are there that will help you, but you have to give and take. You got to understand that they're going through they got the same thing going through on them as you do most of the time. And that pressure builds and builds, and it's just enormous. But, you know, I love healthcare. I love it. I love making people feel better. I love, going to work and knowing that I can make a difference. Yeah. These people come into the hospital. Some of them didn't know they was going to be in the hospital that day. You know, some of them woke up normal day, go to work, come home, or in between work and home, they don't feel good, so they go to the doctor, or they have to go to the hospital emergency room. Next thing you know, they're in the hospital overnight for an overnight stay. Could be longer. You don't know. You wake up not feeling good, and the next thing you know, you're septic and you're in the hospital for 3 or 4 days. It's just that fast. And let me tell you, it happens that fast. So there's so many things you got to take into account. And these people are like your patients, they don't want to be there any more than sorry, but so sometimes they're going to be grouchy. Sometimes they're going to be appreciative. Most of the time they're appreciative, but sometimes they're grouchy because they're like, man, I don't want to be here. I don't know why I'm here. Well, you're here because you're sick and you need to be in the hospital. Now, don't get me wrong. The hospital is no place to be if you're sick because you can always get sicker in the hospital. But sometimes you have to stay for tests, or if you had a procedure, sometimes you're really, really sick. So we get that. But you got to take into consideration on the patient side, looking at the nursing or the healthcare team, you got to remember what they're doing. Chances are you're not their only patient. While you might be as important as the next patient, you're not their only patient. So you got to remember they're taking care more than just you. So, I always swear that sometimes when my call lights for my patients start going off, they all go off at the same time. And I jokingly say, did you guys have coordinated effort to all of a sudden everybody needs something at the same time? A lot of times it seems that way that you know it's not, but Uh, those waves like that, whenever you're just go from 0 to 100, they can be stressful because you're trying to remember what they all want because you've answered them A, B, and C in order of however, and they all wanted something different. So you're trying to make sure you meet their needs in a timely fashion, only to forget something. Happens every time. Sometimes you say stuff that you don't mean to say in a patient's room, and it just sometimes it comes out of their mouth, and it's one of those things you can't reel back. And it's not usually like an insult to the patient, or it's not meant to be derogatory towards the patient, but you just say something because you mess up, and it's like you spill the macaroni on the ground after you've boiled it for 10 minutes or whatever. Like, oh shit. So if you mess up or something like that, you may say a naughty word in front of people, and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to say that. It's not because that person just nurses, not professional or anything like that. They're human. They are human beings. They're adult human beings. They're going to say stuff that just happens. Now, on the nursing side of it, or the healthcare team side of it, you got to be really, really cautious and very careful about what you say, how you say it, who you're saying it to, you got to be diligent. In this day and age, you can't say anything. Trust me, you can't say anything. Jokingly or not, somebody's going to take it, run with it. It's going to be out of context. Somebody's going to get feelings hurt, and then it's the way it's going to be. So if you can't handle that, then I don't know. But this is, if you're sliding through here, this is Post Shift Huddle, featuring talking in code. Show is dedicated to healthcare workers, first responders. This is my alternate show for my gaming show. This show is dedicated to focus on mental health awareness and suicide prevention in healthcare and in first responders. My gaming show focuses on ADHD, anxiety, and gaming and stuff like that. But this show here is focused on healthcare workers and first responders, give them a platform to talk, reach out, talk about their situations, their days, stuff like that. It's just a show that I want to get out and give everybody a chance to just talk. Just talk it out. Better than to talk it out than take it out on somebody that doesn't deserve it. That's what I always say. I also say it's easier to laugh than it is to cry, because I think some people would rather cry than laugh. I would 100 times rather laugh than cry. Even if it hurts, I'll laugh. Just because laughter makes you feel better. It releases a set of endorphins or something that makes you feel better. And that's important. That's why I take a more of a comedic approach to how I work with patients. Some people it works with, some people it doesn't. Most of the patients are receptive to it. It's usually the coworkers that are unreceptive to it. I like to I like to work a room my patient's room or whatever, like a comedian does a room, you know, you kind of feel it out. You don't go overboard. If the room's not feeling it, you're not feeling it. So that's just how I do things. I try not to go too overboard or anything like that, but sometimes it happens. Like I said, most of the time, it's usually coworkers that get more offended than the actual patient. But if a room is solemn and somber and doesn't want to be bothered, I don't press. You know, if they're wanting to talk, laugh, and joke around, I'm all for it. Um, if they're sarcastic type, I don't know how to explain it, but grumpy, sarcastic, I can give it back just as much as they. I can take it just as much as they give it. I can give it as much as they'll take it. But you have to be careful. Again, you have to be careful with that stuff because somebody might get offended. How you mean it, how it is perceived is totally different. So, but that's neither here nor there. But like I said, this is Post Shift Huddle featuring Talking in Code. Show is dedicated to healthcare workers, first responders, uh, gives them a platform to talk, gives them a chance to vent, to debrief, have a post shift huddle. Just if they've had a bad shift in the last week or so and they just need to talk about it, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to listen, here to uh, help heal mentally best I can. I'm not going to fix you, but I'm going to give you a listening ear that will help understand, maybe help you work through it. But my intentions are to uh, keep you from doing something that's going to hurt you or cause you to take it out on somebody that doesn't deserve it. So that's the gist of the show. Just to give a post shift huddle because you're supposed to have that at work, but it never happens. You're supposed to discuss the situation that happened, talk it out, see what you can do to make it better. See what you can do to keep it from happening again if possible. To see if, or how to make it more comfortable for those that were involved. Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you just can't. But what you can do is talk about it, think about it, work it out with people that understand. And if we get the right group to chit-chatting, figure it out. Sometimes people from the outside looking in may be able to help with the situation as well. So having a outside variable isn't a bad thing. You don't ever know. You never know till you try. To be honest, it could be a lot worse if you don't talk about it. So keep that in mind. So be sure to everything know. Tell you what, I did my gaming stream. I started it about 6:30 last night and played a little bit of a game called Fortnite, and then I got getting to the end of the season, so I'm getting kind of burned on it. So I'm waiting for the new season to start. But the new Call of Duty come out, Black Ops 6. So I did the campaign last night, and boy, tell you what, I was stressing. It's crazy. It was fun. It was really fun, but it was stressful. There was some stuff going on in there that just scared the crap out of me. I didn't even want to get up. I was so scared. I don't scare easy. I'm a man. Big, burly, tough man. I don't scare. But I'm a big teddy bear too. So there's that aspect of it. So I neglected this show last week, mostly because of work. And I was tired after every shift. And I'm not kidding you when I say that work was so mentally exhausting last week that I don't ever remember being so tired and coming home from work. But I don't know if that was part of it, or if it was also that I had my sleep was all messed up from the weekend prior to it anyway. But it was a long week, and I apologize for not being here in the morning for anybody that may have wanted to vent or needed to vent. I'm going to try this week to be here every day, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 9:30. I'm going to go back to try to do an hour. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if I'm going to get it completely an hour, but I'd like to do at least an hour. Give everybody a chance to take their piece. I screwed up this morning already because this is under gaming and it should be under something else, but it's not. So I for those on TikTok sliding through here, I apologize. TikTok they allow me to change games, but they don't let me change the type of stream it is midstream, which really is kind of frustrating because you should be able to change what it is, but it's okay. It's okay for what it is right now. But yeah, I'd like to get this to where get groups in here, do some hosting and other people talking, so that I'm not the only one. Here I am spinning my hair, curling my hair like it needs to be curled anymore. But yeah, So if you're a first responder or healthcare worker and would like to talk about anything, this is for you. This show is dedicated to those that work in healthcare and are first responders. Honed in on the mental health aspect and suicide prevention. Healthcare workers are 32% more likely to commit suicide than that of a normal person. And healthcare support staff are 81% more likely to commit suicide. I can't fathom that. That just cripples me to think that we are overlooking our own mental health that bad, that poorly, that those numbers skyrocket like that. 81% more likely. That's just blows my mind, for lack of better terms. I just can't believe that. I really, really, really just can't believe that. But it is what it is. So, we go with it, I guess. But if you're a healthcare worker or first responder and just need a place to talk things out for mental clarity before you go home or back to work, I want you to know that this place is it. Said I've worked in healthcare for 10 years. 8 of those years have been in basically critical care setting. So I understand what it is to work in stressful situations, stressful work environments. It's tough. It's tough coming home after having a very, very stressful day and trying to put on that that happy face for your family. And now I really don't have a family to come home to. I have animals, which are my daughters, but most of us that work in healthcare can't just go home and talk to our loved ones about work because of laws preventing that. And that's why I started this show, is because I feel like healthcare workers can talk to each other and we can talk in code where we understand what's going on and where other people may not. And like I said, if you are in fear of retaliation from organization or other coworkers or whatever, and you want to make up an account just to come in and chat, I'm all for it. I would much rather you do that than leave the burden on you without understanding or talking about it. Because I think it's most important that as healthcare workers that we do discuss our issues, get them out in the open. We're not perfect. We're human beings. We are fallible. We are not perfect as much as we want to be. We're going to make mistakes. Try not to, we try to be excuse free and not make mistakes, but in order for that to happen, we need to have that all the mental strain and stress off our shoulders when we go to work, and be cleansed of feeling any of that anxiety. And I'm telling you, the anxiety is always going to be there, but it's better to know that you're not the only one, that you're not alone in how you feel, is so important. that way, when others talk about it, you're like, thank God I'm not alone. I'm not the only one. And that's so important because in healthcare, sometimes we forget each other, forget our coworkers, and forget that we are all human, that we're not all built the same, that we do need each other's shoulders to lean on, cry on, just to know that they're there to support us. And it's important. Um, I'm usually not the type that's outgoing about my issues because I don't want to burden anybody else with my problems. Because my thing is, I think that I'm having a bad day, but man, there's so many people out there that's having a lot worse day than me every day. I can say that there's a lot more people out there having a worse day than me. So, hey Jackson, what's up? Hey, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Really do. But yeah, I use gaming. I use gaming and as my anxiety and stress relief from work. But some people in healthcare go other routes. I mean, exercise. I used to exercise like crazy was one of them, but COVID kind of took that out of me. Some people, I'm just thinking of safe, safe coping mechanisms for anxiety and stress from work. Some people say, well, how do you get aggravated and everything? I say, I'm not aggravated. Some people say, oh, you're mad. I'm not mad. I love gaming. I love the challenge, the competitiveness. It's competitive. I'm not mad. I can care less. It's a game. Um, where I get frustrated is whenever there's glitches in a game. That makes me mad. But it's still less stress. It still takes the stress away from what I was stressed about, and it's not a new stress at all. Um, but dangerous coping mechanisms would be like drinking, drugs, just doing crazy stuff. Um, Anything dangerous, anything that could cause bodily harm to yourself just because you're just blowing off steam and stress. Yeah. But then there's the mediocre coping mechanisms like eating. People like to eat. Um, I don't call them like safe ones. I mean, they're not dangerous, but not they're not like alcohol or drugs or anything like that. But they can become unhealthy if you use food for coping mechanisms. I mean, any kind of coping mechanism, I guess, could become unsafe if you become an addict to it. But yeah, there's different coping mechanisms, and there's stuff that uh, that you just got to remember that you need to be responsible for yourself, your family, and as a healthcare worker, your patients. The organization, they're going to have to figure it out. Um, Everybody thinks that the grass is greener on the other side. I tell you right now that healthcare is pretty well universally in the same state everywhere you go. I can about honestly say that I can pretty much take that to the bank. Sadly, that's the way it is. But the only way to make that change is for us to come together and help each other, help each other get through it. Um, the nice thing about healthcare workers, it's a nice thing, it's such a nice thing. Uh, the remarkable thing about healthcare workers is they're so focused on helping other people and stuff that they'll spend more time at work than they will with their actual family, if you think about it. So their work coworkers become family because they spend a lot of time with them, especially night shift healthcare workers in their departments are a totally different breed because there's so much that they go through together that they become close. You know, they'll bicker back and forth like family. Um, it's just different. I have to say that because I've worked both night shift and day shift, but I will say that night shift is so much better. Hey, days to weeks, how's it going? But yeah, I like the night shift atmosphere so much better than day shift. It's just different. Me, yeah, yep. But but anyway, coping with healthcare, I guess. Yeah, exercise a little bit on the weak side, but um, healthcare stress, anxiety, mental anguish is pretty because we like to eat. It's pretty stressful. So days to weeks, it's because we like to eat and we can have all the food we want. You're not bothering me. I'm getting ready to eat as soon as this show's over. Um, but I look at how we can I look at how we can as healthcare workers help each other work through it and deal with the stress. It's all good. It's all good. It's how we handle it. And I think talking it out, working it out, and instead of holding on to it, because I use this analogy all the time that when um, we don't talk about it, we just carry it with us. That eventually it's all going to come to come out in the end, and it's not. It's just going to be devastating to you. So, uh, but yeah. So this show's been Post Shift Huddle, featuring Talking in Code. It's a show dedicated to healthcare workers and first responders, um, focused on mental health awareness, suicide prevention. So that we can lower that percentage of healthcare workers' suicide rate of 32% down to zero, and healthcare support workers at 81% down to zero. Just, I don't know. So leaves me speechless, which is sometimes hard to do. Just to think that healthcare workers have that high of a suicide rate, but and we don't take care of our own. I think it's all because we don't talk about it. It's because we bottle it up, let it go. Um, take everything to heart. Uh, put all of our put all of our will and stuff into other people instead of taking care of ourselves, which is who we are. But we still need to take care of ourselves first so we can be better for our patients, for our families, and which will in turn help the organizations be better as well. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. Patients win, organizations win, our families win, and most importantly, we win. As long as we do it right, take care of ourselves, our minds, most importantly. So, I'm going to wrap the show up this morning. I will be back tomorrow morning at 8:30, assuming everything goes good tonight. Should be back bright and early. I don't have to work tomorrow night, so I'll be doing a gaming show tomorrow night as well. I wrapped up campaign for Call of Duty, so maybe I can play some, maybe do some zombies. We'll see. Do a little bit of Fortnite, transition into zombies, something. We shall see. We shall see. I appreciate everybody stopping by this morning. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the new follows. Even the derogatory ones, they're all right. I don't care. Some people come in here and think they're going to say something that's going to offend me, make me mad or upset. And if any healthcare worker knows, we've had anything and everything said to us possible. That's the least of our worries. It's what we've been called, or people say about us. Our actions speak a lot more than anything else. So how we care, how we treat our patients, how we perform under pressure. But in order for us to keep doing that we have to be mentally fit. So just remember, this is Post Shift Huddle, talking in code, show it's focused on and dedicated to healthcare workers, first responders, their mental health, and suicide prevention. So make sure, if you know somebody that, if you are one of those, or you know somebody that could benefit from this show, send them this way. Let them know about it. I'm just here to make sure that as a healthcare worker or first responder, that you are mentally fit, have that clarity, have a place to talk about your issues with somebody that understands, that's been there, that's been through the grind, understands what it's like to be in your shoes. So if you know a healthcare worker, are a healthcare worker, a first responder, or know a first responder that would benefit in just having a place to go talk, chat, let everybody else know their issues, let them know that they're not alone, that's great, because they need to know that you are worth it. It's okay not to be okay. And there is a place for you to go and talk, whether you think there is or not, whether you think you're alone, you are not. There are more people out there that deal with mental health issues in healthcare than you ever know. And it's okay not to be okay, because you can still function as long as you talk about it most of the time. It's when you let it build up and it makes you that cantankerous, grouchy person where you just think everybody's out to get you, and you don't get the rest and the sleep that you need because of the burdens that are upon your shoulders. You're always second guessing yourself, but you have to know that you're not alone in that. It's not all you. I mean, there's a team in healthcare. That's why there's a healthcare team. It's not, and I understand how it works, so we can talk through that. And that's what this show's for, is to talk through all that, so you don't do something foolish or take it out on somebody that doesn't deserve it. We take it out here, get it all out in the open, move on. That's what needs to be done. And it's not being done. Everybody's bottling it up, and then once it gets full and explodes, and then that's when the damage is done. So let's talk it out. Let's have a post shift huddle. Let's do this. Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Time to 9:30 a.m. Central Time. Lowrider RN, post shift huddle, talking in code, first responders, healthcare workers, mental health awareness, suicide prevention. It's okay not to be okay. You are worth it. You are making a difference. And I will see you all tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Have a good day.